Thank you, Paul Nichols. I think it was Coach Dabo Sweeney that coined the phrase, go big or go home. Well, whoever it was, they'd be real proud to see what's getting ready to happen here today. I have never seen such a thing. That's terrific. And if this is a small business, I think everybody ought to have one, Paul. This is terrific. What a great story of what you and your bride have done. Y'all may have heard the little story about the family moved into town, and the man had a little son about the size of one of those you saw a moment ago, and they were trying to find a church to go to, and there's this old church downtown. And so they went over to the church, and they were walking around in the graveyard behind this old church. And the man says to his son, this is a great old church. Look, there's a monument there to all the men who died in the service. The little boy says, which one, 8:30 or 11 o'clock? I love seeing these children. There was a man who was an educator for a lot of years. He told me one time they were giving an award to some children that had excelled. They went, I think, to third grade. And he'd been in education for a long time. He was retired then. And he said, if I'd known that all those children would grow up to be adults, I'd have worked a lot harder to educate them. But I'll tell you, they're going to be grown up before we know it. And to look at these young children and to understand what kind of experience they're going through at their school is a wonderful thing. And when we see things happening around the country, they make us wonder about the future. When we think about these young children and we think about these veterans and we think about these businesses and think about the determination and spirit of the people of South Carolina, it gives us hope and confidence in the future. And just being here today, all of you with this flag, with this business, with this spirit, and representing with the military here and all the veterans here, let me ask all veterans, would you please stand? Those of you that are not already standing, we want to thank you again and again and again. Chaplain, you're right. What a wonderful country. Unique in the history of the world. Nothing like it. And we have to protect it. Just a few facts that you might be interested in. You know this is a proud military state. We have over 50,000 active duty and reserve military personnel in our state right now. We have over 400,000 veterans and then their families as well, and 8 military installations. And you may have heard that the Coast Guard is planning to concentrate in Charleston, go bring 5 cutters there. Eventually, that will be the biggest concentration of Coast Guard assets in the United States. This is a great, great state, a great state. The Department of Defense supports 191,515 jobs in South Carolina. That's 1 out of every 12. $6.3 billion in spending and $3.7 billion in contracts. The Department of Defense additions include recently the F-16 production line in Greenville, expansion of the MQ-9 Reaper operation at Shaw Air Force Base, the movement of Army Cyber Command to Fort Gordon, which is near Aiken, and as I mentioned, the new Coast Guard Super Base in Charleston. What a wonderful state to have such military representation. And half of all the soldiers entering the Army every year, including yours truly years ago, go through what? Fort Jackson, the biggest military Army training base in the United States. That's our South Carolina, right there. We've got a number of great traditions that make us different. And I need to tell you, and when I speak to people from around the world that are looking to invest hundreds of millions or billions of dollars, companies around the world, they're looking at where to go. They can go wherever they want to go anywhere in the world. Why do they come to South Carolina? Why do they do that? They say it's because of the people. They say it's the people, the people, the people. They say the people of South Carolina are different. Now, they're great states are in our country. All of them are wonderful states. But we are a little bit different, and it is a difference that makes a difference. And that's why when you read in the paper about these companies that could go anywhere in the world, they come in here. And keep your eyes peeled. There'll be more coming in the future. But what is it that makes us so different? Have you ever wondered? What is it that makes us different? A lot of states have mountains. A lot of states have oceans. Not many of them have both like we do, but we do. We started in 1670. We have a proud military tradition. Our people have fought in every war there was everywhere in the world. Proud military tradition. Also a strong Judeo-Christian tradition. Peggy and I vacation, take the family down to a place called Pawleys Island from Columbia. One time I decided I had to go back and forth on business, and so I decided I was going to count the churches, because there seemed to me to be churches just every few miles. Well, there were. On the way that we go at Highway 521 and 261 and 137 miles, there are 83 churches you can see from the road. Now, I think that's a world's record. And if you go around South Carolina, that's what you see. So, ladies and gentlemen, when you take paradise, which is what the explorers, when they were coming over looking at the new world, and they were looking at this place that today we call South Carolina. They were going back to their sovereigns, the kings and the queens, and they're saying, this is the most lush, this is the most beautiful, this has got to be the most bountiful place in the new world. When you take people with that strong military tradition and take people with that strong Judeo-Christian tradition and you put them into paradise, which is where we are, this is what you get. You get the people that people all over the world respect, and they want to invest their money and their futures in those people. That is South Carolina, and I'm so proud to be one of us, I can hardly stand it. And one more thing. I have the privilege of speaking just a few months ago with a 4-star general who was in charge of recruitment. And he said, this is for the Army, he says, you got to go all over the country, of course. You want to bring people in from all over the country. But he said, this tradition is so strong and the people are so strong in South Carolina. He said, I could recruit for the entire quota that the Army is looking for from 5 southern states, of which this is one. That's because of this tradition we have. And also Mark Clark, 4-star general, World War II. He said that and later was president of the Citadel, he said there's more patriotism per square inch in South Carolina than any place in the world. And he'd been all over the world. Ladies and gentlemen, that kind of patriotism, that kind of spirit, that kind of determination is what makes South Carolina a great place. It's a great place where businesses can grow from nothing to this. It's a place where we love each other. It's where we take care of each other. It's where we say sir. It's where we say ma'am. It's where we say please. It's where we say our prayers, and we're not a bit ashamed of it. And it is a place where we raise the flag, and this is the biggest one in the state, and it's great. And thank you so much. God bless South Carolina. God bless the United States of America.